What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, fantastic afternoon, fantastic pre-noon. No matter where you are in the world, I'm Hasan Piker. This is the HasanAbi broadcast coming to you live from gray and cloudy California, Los Angeles, folks. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is a very special day. It is 61 degrees and cloudy here in California, Los Angeles, folks. And it's one day after Cenksgiving. But you might be wondering, you might be saying to yourself, Hasan, why is this a very special day? Why is this a wonderful day? Why is this an important day? Well, is it because it's Thanksgiving? Some people have the day off. Is that the reason? No, that is not the reason. Is it because it's, you had a regular uncle-nephew bond that is impossible to break, but you still tried to break it to the best of your ability? Is that the reason? No, that is not the reason. The reason why it's a very special day is because it's a very special day of the week every week. That's right. It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. What?
It's Friday. It's fucked up Friday. It's also Thanksgiving Friday, but every Friday is a celebration-worthy moment, an opportunity to thank our forefathers that came before us, that fought long and hard with blood, sweat, and tears to ensure that you have the freaking weekend so that you can feel a sense of autonomy, a sense of purpose, feel like a real human being again. Take some time off, especially on this beautiful Thanksgiving Friday as well. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to have some immaculate fucking vibes here on this Friday, as you guys know. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, it is November 29, 2024, Friday, and I hope everyone's having a fantastic one. We have the LA Times in the building once again. That's right, Mufasa. He did do it. LA Times in the building again. They had the profile's going to be coming out soon. They unfortunately, corrupted the hard drive where the photos were on originally, but I think I put on an even cooler fit for this, so it's good. Yo, why is Shaky Gurga a moderate Republican now? I was watching Cenksgiving with my mom. I decided not to because I didn't want to make her sad. Does doing Cenksgiving help you two get out of your disagreements before dinner so you guys don't argue during the actual dinner in front of the whole family? Yes, that's unironically the case. I have found out that as long as we have all of our debates on camera here and we keep it to here in to the marketplace, then we don't actually end up debating on the Thanksgiving table, which is like somewhat of a cool and healthy way to approach it. And I suggest you guys do that with your reactionary uncles and aunties as well, if that's what you want to do. You got to do a crash out early on and then get it out of the way. Get the crash out of the way and then move on to dinner, you know? I'm going to be honest, this was by far the worst, most adversarial Cenksgiving we've ever had. Yeah, it has literally gotten... Wait, what the fuck is this? Something I'm thankful for today. Hasan Piker, Spinnies, UAE. Wait, what? A grocery chain in the UAE is making thirst talks about me? This is the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. That's crazy. Okay, that's actually very cool. I didn't even know that was a thing that happened. Yeah, I got a new sponsor. It's the United Arab Emirates HasanAbi Bingo. Oh, wow. There's a lot of TikToks y'all have lined up for me. Anyway, this is the part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news about what's going on in the world of HasanAbi Piker in between the time period where I press the stop streaming button and press the start streaming button. And a lot has occurred in the world of HasanAbi Piker. As you guys know, we had Cenksgiving yesterday with Shaky Gurga. And that was one aspect of the day, but obviously the day was a lot longer than that. Spent some time with family, had some wonderful food, ate some stuffing. God damn, the stuffing that I ate was so freaking good. Yeah, I dove into that. I didn't get enough protein yesterday, which is devastating for me, I'll be honest with you. And I definitely do have some hang-ups about that sort of thing. How the fuck you post 0 plate pics? Don't worry about it. What I eat is my business, okay? And not yours. I love that I eat in front of the camera every single fucking day. And the one day that I eat by myself without sharing with chat, there's still hella people in the chat going, why do you share no, plate pig? What the hell? Yeah, it's for me and myself and I. How about you calm down? So anyway, there was an endless amount of food. And before people say, how do you not get enough protein? And it's like, yeah, dude, because turkey is the most inconsequential aspect of Thanksgiving. A lot of people think, oh, turkey, you got to get it. You got to fry it, yada, yada, yada. Who cares about the turkey, dude? The real eaters know it's the sides. The real eaters know the turkey is a vehicle to eat the sides. Okay? That's it. And that's precisely what I did. I had stuffing, mashed potatoes and gravy. There's this like cornbread pudding thing that was insane, like actually insane. But the stuffing is the best. They make it with bacon. This place that we get it from. Whoo, sheesh. Turkey, dark meat, white meat, don't matter. I eat both. I don't care. I love both. And then I didn't even stop there. After the whole meal, I had to eat Tums. That's how bad it was because it was so greasy. And I guess like I eat super healthy for the most part and super clean for the most part. So like I literally was like, I was getting agita. I was getting heartburn. Like, you know, when you burp and then the acid reflux kicks in, that's what was happening. And honestly, I had to take some Tums, but I also busted open that LeBron James like leg recovery thing that Mythic got of me like 2 birthdays ago. I finally busted that shit wide open and used it. I don't know if it helped with recovery. It feels like it might have, but yeah. I didn't really eat that much turkey, honestly. I didn't really eat that much turkey. I just ate mostly the sides. And then afterwards, as a DJ Steve, I had a bunch of cheeses because my mom, you guys might know this already, Dr. Anne, loves making charcuterie plates. And she loves making those charcuterie plates, and I was just going to town on some sharp cheddar. Some Emmental. No desserts, big dog. Yeah, I had a little bit of dessert. Like, it's fine. It wasn't like that crazy. The dessert game wasn't that crazy, if I'm being real, if I'm being honest. They had apple pie. Someone brought flan, which wasn't that good, if we're being real. Take on pecan pie. It's the best one out of all the pies, I think. No pumpkin. Nah, we don't fuck with pumpkin. We're too not American to fuck with pumpkin. If you didn't have cheese with that apple pie, go fuck yourself. Okay, bro, calm down. Like, no, I didn't have it. I ate goat stew and dumplings. I'm too brown for regular Thanksgiving food. Nah, there's some real fucking heaters in the Thanksgiving food lineup, honestly. But yeah, did you guys sing karaoke afterwards? No, but we did like a gift exchange and shit too. Like we always do. I don't know why. And it was all right. Like, you know, it's fine. No debates, no nothing. As a white man, I'm deporting you if you don't fuck with pumpkin. Okay, calm down. Please try to stay calm, but I'm 100% sure the guest on stream yesterday was actually Ben Shapiro in elaborate makeup to try and look like Mr. Gurga. Yeah, honestly, it was a weird situation, wasn't it? Austin said in the Discord he would bet money that Anya was going to be mad at you and Jank for being late to dinner. Was he right? No. No. Watching Kyrie playing ball yesterday was my highlight. Dude, stop.
Secrets of basketball.
I'm not kidding. I watched this whole thing. I watched this whole thing with tears in my eyes, okay? I have never been like, look, there's a lot of large content creators out there. There's a lot of big content creators out there to do a whole bunch of cool ass shit, okay? Kai Cenat has done so much cool shit, Okay. This is the first time, honest to God, in my entire life where I have been jealous. I straight up, I'll say it openly. Okay. I was sitting there so envious. I have never experienced this feeling about any sort of content creation, any sort of content creator ever in my life. You guys know I love Kyrie Irving. You know I have 11 pairs of his shoes. When he got canceled and has lost his shoe deal, I went and I bought 10 pairs of his Flat Earther 7s, okay? 10. I already had one and I got 10 of them. And honestly, I love him. I love him. He's one of the best ball handlers in the NBA overall. He's just an incredible player. Okay. And not only is he an incredible player, but also he is pro-Palestine through and through. I mean, it's kind of wild that Kai invited a indigenous man for Thanksgiving dinner who also happens to be Muslim too on top of that. Like he's already like he's got a crazy background. But they in LA, you could have pulled up. No, they're not inviting me to this. Don't be silly. But goddamn, dude, this was watching him teach Kai Cenat how to shoot, like telling him that he has to use the curves on the ball. I was like, I had a little tear. I had a little tear that I might have tore a little tear that I toured. Okay. Teared up. Oh God. It was, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, he's doing the damn thing. Kai's doing the damn thing. I crowed. Yeah. Would you rather meet Kyrie or LeBron? Ooh, that's I mean, it's LeBron. I wanted to make it seem like it was a tough choice, but come on. I mean, that's La God, dude. What do you mean? It's like Kyrie Irving is like chill and I want to hang out with him and it would be amazing and I love him, but like then you have the God, Le God. So anyway, Kyrie would have been executed for witchcraft if he was balling out in the 1600s, brother. I mean, he's a black man who also is of indigenous descent as well. So, yeah. But you're right. The way he balls out is magic. That is true. 1600s basketball. How much would you pay to let LeBron dunk on you? What do you mean let LeBron dunk on me? There's no letting LeBron. If LeBron wants to dunk on you, he will dunk on you. Okay. There is no letting. Like you think I could stop LeBron James, the LeBron James, from dunking on me if he saw fit? I would be honored. I would never shower again. If his nutsack was on my fucking forehead, if he posterized me, I would be like, all right, we're good. No more showering. I will live forever with the glory. Bro, stop riding. That old man is 40. Yeah. All right. Anyway, but this was cool.
On, man. Yo, school with Kyle. Because James Naismith isn't here anymore, man. And God rest his soul. One of my mentors, big brother Kobe's not here to be here because he did a great job of leaving a blueprint like for us to follow. Basketball, it's like dancing. It's like watching your favorite movie. You gotta really love it. You can't just be out on the court BSing, right? You can't come out here and disrespect.
He's so wise.
The legend.
He's so fucking wise. Also, this is me. Okay. His face this entire time is me. Like, look at his eyes, bro. Look at him. Look at my man. Is it Ty Lil? Is that his name? He does the dance, right? On TikTok. It's just, I'm him. Okay. He is me. Look at the love that he has. I mean, yeah. He's never even been the best player in the last two teams he played on. Oh, man, shut up. Shut up.
That have come before you. So if you want to appreciate the game, you got to start where every legend has started, and that's underneath the basket, and then work your way out. Underneath the basket means that you don't shoot a shot yet.
This is how Swifties are, bro. Okay, dude. The way Kyrie Irving, the way Kyrie Irving plays basketball is poetry in motion. Okay, it's like you say Swifties, but like this is a valid person in terms of like his output. Okay.
That means we start underneath the basket. Everybody underneath the basket. Come on. Everybody get a ball underneath the basket.
HasanAbi. Okay, man. I mean, shut up. I saw that the young the what's his name? The kid that's like with them all the time who has like bad grades or something. I've seen those TikToks. He was no, not Ray. Rakai. He actually shot a 3-point off of him. He banked it off of a contested 3-pointer off of Kyrie Irving. That is the most incredible thing. It's over at that point. You have peaked. Imagine getting one off. Imagine getting a contested 3 off of Kyrie Martin Luther King Irving. Okay? Get the fuck out of here. And he banked it too. That's peak. He got 1K for that? Yeah.
Earth is like flat.
You said what?
You still think Earth is flat?
I still think the earth is flat.
That's just saying I believe the earth is flat rather than being a...
But the thing about it is that in history, it's been said before.
Wait, what?
You still think Earth is like flat?
You said what?
You still think Earth is flat?
I still think the earth is flat.
That's just saying I believe the earth is flat rather than being a...
But the thing about it is that in history, it's been said before.
So he is still, oh God, I still love him. I don't care. The earth is flat. Whatever. Who cares? Yeah, he's right. I've said this before. If I could have handles like Kyrie Irving, I would, and it required me to believe the earth was flat. I would say the earth is flat. I would be a flat earther. Okay. How does the ball bounce like that? Think about that. You have no answers. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Who cut this video? What the fuck? They cut out the middle. Yeah, here's Rakai getting a 3-pointer off of Kyrie. Yeah, Kyrie Irving bet $1,500 against each person that they won't make a shot against them, but Rakai was one of the 3 people to make the shot with Kyrie contesting the shot too. So wait, 3 of them got it off?
Oh my 5, 4.
See, he learned that jab. He learned that jab step from Kyrie earlier. He taught them the valid lessons, and they learned it and they internalized it, and then they used it against them. It's a you know, it's a learning moment. It's cool.
Oh
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bet! Oh! That's peak. That's peak. That's peak. That's peak. He did the damn thing. He did that shit.
You was bold. He hit. That's fucking go over Kyrie.
They have 5 shots each. Kyrie wasn't going hard. Shut up. Let him have this.
Kyrie, I know you ain't go out like this. I know you ain't going out like this.
This part's really funny.
This shot. Come here.
That'll never happen again. Me too.
He pulls him in.
Come here.
That'll never happen again.
He said that'll never happen again. That's funny. Anyway, yeah. He looked like a Celtics player because they did the same thing to Kyrie. Okay. Halfway through the Cenksgiving debate, happy to take a pause. Nice. My brother-in-law asked me about you last night at dinner, and that started a heated discussion at dinner last night. Y'all don't have anything better to fucking duke it out on in the marketplace of ideas that you guys are fighting over me now? That's crazy, okay? But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I watched a big chunk of this off of clips, and that shit was amazing, okay? And yes, this is the first time. This is the first time ever when I've seen another content creator do some shit where I was like, damn, I wish I could do something. I wish I could be a part of that. I was just on the outside watching. Tears in my eyes. Also, I started watching Dune as well on HBO, and that show's pretty good. The Dune one. LeBron trainer. Oh yeah, we shelled that. We shouldn't have. But yeah, I also had some family members that have strong feelings about you. Wait, what? Why? The Dune show is boring as hell. I like it. Dune show is heavy lore so far. Yeah, I like the Dune lore though. That's why I like it. Yeah, Kai gets to hang out with Unc Kyrie Irving. I get to hang out with my Unc. Bro, PSA is the #1 episode at the moment. Wait, what? This is the #1 episode right now? Bro, what is happening? Bro, bruh, my podcast on Pod Save America is right now the #1 episode. I saw this. I saw the Pod Save America episode already passed. I saw the Pod Save America episode that we did already passed the one that they did with the consultants, which I thought was really funny because it's like, this is objectively a more important, more newsworthy episode. This is the first time that the Kamala Harris campaign. This is the first time that the Kamala Harris campaign has actually been on the record defending their own positions and doing a spectacularly bad job at it. But the fact that my episode with Jon Favreau blew past that episode is insane to me already in one day. But yeah, honestly, like I said, this is like a perfect distillation. This is a perfect episode that you can show your boomer parents and stuff like that. What is this? This is the podcast apple.com charts. Wow. Top shows right now. What? Top episodes. #2 on Apple. Wow. Get These Incels to Work is at #2 now. Wow. That's crazy. It's because no one is meet out on the campaign pod. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty cool, man. That's cool. I didn't even think that would be I didn't even realize it was like that. That's a W moment for sure. What is this? Oh yeah, the Fresh and Fit drama. Yeah, I've seen this. Okay, hold on. If you would have shown Schmid at the DNC, Kamala would have won maybe. Yeah, that's true. I should have just shown Schmid beforehand. Also, today at ideology.shop, if you purchase anything, 100% of the store proceeds are going to be donated to Races, Texas. That is a immigrant 501c3 that helps undocumented migrants. So I've worked with them in the past. Everything is getting all the proceeds are going to them. So whatever you purchase on the website, shouts out to Warren James for also giving up their percentage. It doesn't really matter to me, but Raices. Okay, I'm sorry, but it's also on top of that, we have a new thing. We have a new thing as well where we can you can also gift people in the chat. The discount code is insane. That is an insane discount code. Bro, it means roots. Raíces. Raíces. It means roots in Spanish. Yeah. So there's that. What is this? 100% of proceeds on the store will be going towards Raíces, Texas until the end of the year. Ideology.shop. Use discount code. I'm not going to say that discount code. I don't know why the fuck they made that discount code that, but someone bought merch to give away to random chatter, so we can give away for that one now. You want to do that now or a bit later? I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know. You guys, can you guys handle it? I don't know. Like, I don't know how to do that. Okay, you got control over it? All right, you do it then. Yeah, people can also gift. I don't exactly fully understand how that works, but like you can gift merch to other people like in a random way. So yeah. Also this TikTok I watched last night, it was pretty funny. With the Twin Peaks sound. With the Twin Peaks music. It's so good. It's such a good song for that, dude. Anyway. Oh, I forgot. Let's I didn't even blast off today. God damn. Hold up. Hold up. I hosted Pod Save and it got to number 1. Hosted Pod Save and it got to number 1. Cenksgiving recap, fun reacts, and more. Also, we're fundraising for Raíces, Texas on ideology.shop. All to help migrants. Yeah. Get in now. The giveaway is done, chat. Lol. How does the gifting work? Like, will they be notified and can select their size? Yeah, I guess. What is this blast off meme? Looks like meat is back on the menu, boys. Okay, that's an insane thing that you just did to me. You sent me a Google Doc. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm using it. Okay. Here it is. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Okay, a lot going on. I had a really good combo in civil with my Trumpy because he didn't realize all the anti-LGBT stuff going on. Thanks for helping me with radical empathy. Yeah, I hope you guys had a I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving so far. I've heard that some people do Thanksgiving on Friday as well. Like they do it both on they do it on Thursday and they do it on Friday. That's what I've heard. I've heard some people just doing that. Especially if they have like like divorced families or whatever. But for me, one day is enough. I'm back to business, baby. We're done. Okay, where are you going? Kaya? What the hell? That's crazy. She's acting brand new. She's like, LA Times is here. I can do what I want. I'm queen. I'm the queen. They're continuing to pump out your pod safe clips. Keep up the good work. Yeah, hell yeah. For every single person, including the people that voted for Donald Trump. One of the funniest aspects of the tariffs conversation that's happening right now is that Donald Trump is going to implement broad tariffs on 45% of all trade that comes in and out of the United States of America. Mexico, Canada, and China comprise 45% of all trade. He wants to tariff every single one. Tariffs are obviously an entry fee that the American corporations are going to be paying. None of the countries are going to be paying for these tariffs. It's a policy that's going to destroy drop shippers, which overwhelmingly vote for Donald Trump, and the Trump merchandise industry. So that's pretty funny. But having said that, it's going to be devastating for the economy. Now, what do I think Trump will do in the process? He'll obviously use tariffs to basically get corporations and industries and sector leaders on board with his agenda. So when he says jump, they say how high, or I'm going to slap you with tariffs and it's going to actually punish you. It's going to hurt your bottom line. And I think that's part of the reason why they're going to do that. The other reason is it's a regressive tax. It's a broad sales tax on all consumers that disproportionately affects the working poor. And Republicans love that shit. He also, at times, I think, will just institute the Defense Production Act or something. Like, we'll see it. We kind of saw it in COVID as well when it was a necessity. But that's the thing. The American government is powerful. All governments are powerful, but the American government is especially powerful. It's the wealthiest nation on the planet. And the way that it runs is basically, it's like 50 companies in a trench coat. We are working at the behest of corporations. We feed them with our tax dollars that turn into subsidies for them. They utilize those subsidies to, I guess, lower production costs, but then they use that to increase their profit margins and engage in Ronald Reagan, stock buybacks and the like, market manipulation of all different sorts. And we're constantly deregulating the economy. It's not just about having a populist message. It's about actually implementing said populist message and show who your real enemies are. Am I doing any podcasts while I'm in England? I don't know. I don't know if I have the time. A bunch of people have reached out to do stuff, but I'm in and out in England, and I'm going to be constantly moving. So there's a lot to figure out. Alex Connor, I would potentially do one with him. I just don't know how I would even reach out to him, honestly. I don't know. Like, what's his name? Cosmic Skeptic, right? Is that what it is? Yeah, I have no way of reaching him, so come to York, Hasan, please. Are you live streaming your talks in the UK? Yes. I'm planning on doing that, yes. Too accurate? What is this? Grandma, you're looking lovely tonight. Look, you guys, I just think healthcare is a universal right. Cousin John, you're a fascist and the revolution will not spare you. Yeah. What's the occasion in the UK? Don't worry about it. Do you want to do giveaways at set time so it doesn't interrupt? Also, let chat know. Also, 0 DBP won the last giveaway. Congratulations to 0 DBP. Ne haber anne? Evet. Çektiler, evet. This is my mom. Are you debating Jordan Peterson finally? No. Come to Slow is beautiful this time of year. That sounds awful. That sounds like an awful place. You know what it reminds me of? Where did I go? I went to Birmingham. No, not Birmingham. Where did I go that was like so dog shit? It was it Birmingham? It was like one mall. That's the only thing they had there. And I didn't even go to the fucking mall. No, not Brighton. Brighton is fine. I think it was, I think, Birmingham. Brighton was all right. It's just like everything is so gray in the UK, and Brighton's like, come see our beaches. We've got nice beaches, and then they have no beaches. Like, it's crazy. And Anyway, yet more anti-Scottish racism by not visiting there. Yeah. Birmingham is great. Fellow Broomy. Nice. All the UK frogs are chirping. What's wrong with Brighton, man? What the fuck? No, I said Brighton is nice. Tubbo, I gotta hit you up to ask for advice on how to live stream these 2 events that I have. Where like, I don't know. I need your expertise on this. But I'll DM you. Their beaches are literally gravel. That's what I'm saying. Pro-Israel people are beefing with Oxford Union for some pro-Palestine speakers. Yeah, last night at the Oxford Union debate, usefulity of Miko Pellet explicitly supported terrorism, a violation of UK law. When a point of order was raised twice, the president, who both chaired the debate and also took part in it against Israel, gave the pathetic excuse of, I don't enforce the rules. He's literally the chair. Miko's comment, what we saw on October 7th was not terrorism. These were acts of heroism of a people that had been oppressed and killed. Utterly shameful conduct at Oxford Union. The university should be embarrassed by this outrageous conduct. Instead of acting as a bastion of free speech, the Oxford Union is acting as a mouthpiece for terrorism. Yeah, that's cool, Emily Schrader. Thanks. Is there a greater support of terrorism than anyone raising the flag of the country Israel? Yeah, literally. Like, supporting Israel is an insurmountable support, like a support for an insurmountable amount of terrorism that you can't even comprehend. Trigonometry in UK, bro, they did Shirky Gurga. Show him the Unc nephew bond, sir. I don't think they would fuck with me like that. But anyway, but yeah, we got a lot going on in the world. But yeah, this was pretty fun. This is great. The Pod Save America getting to #1 is pretty chill. I won't lie. Also, let's look at this HasanAbi bingo.
It's time for HasanAbi bingo.
Please shut the fuck up. Normal. How many Twitter tabs we got open today? A lot. Okay. So I don't know how that works, but news in. Okay, that's a free spot. I'm sorry, you're an absolute fucking dumbass. Okay, that's it. If you believe. Anyway, the point I was making. I get tired. That okay? What let me live. Saying? Stop banning you. I'm done. I can't do this. No, I'm not. We are so cooked. America as a nation is so cooked. I will always keep repeating this. I hate that I have to give it to Brian fucking Kill Myself of all people. Okay? Makes me want to say, get the fuck over here, dude. What's wrong with you? What the fuck is
They called me a fucking idiot in the chat.
What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? He said America deserved 9/11. Stop crying, bitch. Anyway, okay, that's like that was the Neek skip ban. Yeah, I had to hit him with that. The worst part of Cenksgiving was him insisting that you be called something other than progressive left or whatever. Yeah, I don't know what's up with him on that front. Yeah, I think what anyone who is in support of the working class in the United States of America, you know what they need most? More sectarian infighting. We need more labels and we need more infighting. And what we need to do is just like spend every moment with the limited amount of power, the fractional amount of power and influence that we already have, which is nothing. It's marginal. It's basically inconsequential. What we should do is use all of the finite amount of energy that we have instead of organizing against like, you know, growing fascism in this country or organizing against the Democratic Party that refuses to listen to the very reasonable demands being made by the populist left. What we should do instead is fight each other over disagreements. That's me. That's my TikTok. Congratulations, Rena Kachow. It's a fantastic TikTok. Him screaming, I'm the left. They're not the left. Yeah. It's just, you know, I don't know how I don't know how much more I can talk about this. It's like, I think it's like wholly unproductive and completely silly. Okay. I hate to see unk on unk violence like that. You know, unk Shaky Gurga coming after unk Sam Cedar. Not good. Didn't like that. It seems so unproductive to talk about this. I don't know how Jake does it. Yeah, I think he's just like really upset. I like so much of his anger and resentment would go away if he simply stopped being on Twitter, I think, or stopped listening to any criticisms coming from, you know, Majority Report or anywhere else. Uh-oh. No more Z word to harass people. What's the next word to harass people? Wait, what? What is this person saying? Are you implying that like Zionism as an ideology being banned is a good thing because people were just like using it as a substitute to harass people? I think the real word is still fascist, you know, or Nazi, fascist or Nazi. But you know, we'll don't worry, you'll probably get that banned too. He's like, excuse me, fascism as a movement is simply just a political disagreement, and it's really messed up that people are using that as a substitute term for fascism. But yeah. One more giveaway for good measure? Sure. I like that chatter also is implying that like people use Zionist as a word to substitute for, you know, Jewish person, and he wants to harass, like in this hypothetical, he basically is saying he wants to be anti-Semitic. So thank you for openly admitting that you want to be anti-Semitic, you fucking loser. Like, that's cool. The word capitulation will be in my bingo card. It's the one you're most used, Lamau. It's because, you know, it's pretty big. What is this? Jank is 100% cooked, bruh.
Majority Report jumped in, and Lance from the Serfs, and all the other little dirtbags jumped in, and they were like, no, Jank and Anna are turning right. The 13 dudes.
Ay, ay, ay. I think I got to him a little bit, though, last night after Shaky Gurga Giving, where I had a conversation with him because he was like, why do you think, because you know, we were talking about like why CNN and all these other like traditional outlets are more receptive to what I have to say than him. And he always thinks it's because I'm hot and young and cool and hip, and he's not. He's old and rugged. And I was like, no, dude, it's because of the way you carry yourself. Like I have my criticisms of mainstream outlets all the time. I have my criticisms of other commentators. I have my disagreements with them. But like the energy that you bring to any conversation, including someone like myself who loves you, like I straight up told him, I was like, if anyone that I had actually talked to, anyone that I like quote unquote debated or whatever treated me like the way you did, like I would never ever in a million years allow that. Like I would never allow that to happen. And if you're having that energy with me, someone, you know, you love, your nephew, then yeah, I'm assuming you carry that energy with a lot of people you don't know that well, who don't have that familial relationship. And yeah, that breeds resentment, that breeds anger. And it's like overall very unnecessary, you know? And I think he got that. He understood that a little bit. Cause I was like, because I basically was like, listen, I would never allow another person to talk to me like the way you talk to me. And you know, of course, it doesn't mean anything between you and I because, you know, you've seen me shit in my diapers, okay? Like, you're my uncle. I love you. But, you know, like that's if you're doing that to me, I'm assuming you do that to other people as well. And yeah, they probably, you know, they probably don't like that. This was after dinner? Yeah. I think the thing about Cenk is that he's not like, I don't think a grifter implies that there isn't like a genuine attitude change. Okay? A grifter implies that there isn't a genuine attitude change. I think he's just like genuinely has a difference in opinion in the issues that he speaks on, where he's like legitimately more conservative on those issues. Whether it happened over the course of the last couple of years, but I don't know if it happened like super fast, but I think that there has been an attitude shift where he is, and I basically tried to get him to come to that conclusion. Like I tried to walk through the steps slowly but surely by being like, there was a point where you were a fighter. You've always been a progressive fighter, right? You did not worry yourself about like what the democratic wishes of the base of support in the party looks like. You don't worry about that when it comes to Medicare for all because you know that's right. And you know that if you champion that message, then like people will inevitably come on board with that. But it seems like for a lot of these other issues, you're willing to cast aside certain groups in the way that you communicate about these issues because you're terrified of the fact that there is no solution that the Democratic Party will offer them. Like, even the abortion conversation, that wasn't supposed to be like me finding out what his perspective is. I was just I thought that we were in agreement on abortion, that any sort of legislative hurdle like that on a process that already is like automatically limited to the people that need it desperately, given the invasive nature of the surgery and the cost of it alone, that any sort of additional legislative hurdle is going to cause problems in the same vein that like any sort of restriction on abortion causes problems. And then I wanted to use that as an example to bring it back to I wanted to use that as an example to bring it back to the subject matter on like, you know, 3 strikes and you're out. It's a felony conversation, you know, because when you add additional restrictions on our already very restrictive, very draconian criminal justice system, you end up, you know, it's the dynamic that, you know, 3 jewelry thefts, like the guy who stole jewelry 3 times versus the guy who stole pizza 3 times. You know what I mean? Like, there are a significantly larger number of people who will be stealing 3 slices of pizza over, you know, doing jewelry theft. And yes, I think that the way it works is, the way the law works is you're supposed to, because it's so broad sweeping, yes, you either say, nah, fuck it, like all of those people have to go to prison. All of those people that like steal, you know, here and there, they have to go to prison because they're routine offenders and repeat offenders, rather than it just, you know, as long as the guy who's like stealing jewelry is going to prison too. I don't think that that's all right. Anyway, your point about your core values being that you're okay with a jewel thief being free if it means the 3 pizza guy is free also resonated well, I think. I hope people understood what I was saying. Like, that doesn't mean that, you know, we shouldn't prosecute rape or whatever. And that doesn't even mean we shouldn't prosecute grand larceny or theft of all these different varieties. It's just that Like, when it comes to criminal justice reform, you either have the opinion of like, we need more deterrence, we need more violence in the criminal justice system that will operate as a deterrent to stop people and make people think twice before they do engage in crime, or we need to dramatically move in the opposite direction where we focus on rehabilitation in an effort to lower recidivism rates, as other countries have successfully done. And we need to address the root causes in which crime manifests. And I think there is a crisis here born out of nihilism, born out of being a progressive champion for 25 plus years, as Cenk has been, where he is basically throughout time recognized that like no solutions are coming, no broad sweeping solutions that will tackle the issue exactly at the root cause. You know, fixing the housing market, adding additional social safety nets, after school programs and the like. So he's like, we have to stop the bleeding. And the only way to stop the bleeding is by being even more aggressive and being even more violent in our penalties. And that in and of itself is a terrifying prospect. That's when you cave to the reactionary in your mind, when you give in. And it's kind of terrifying. It's you know, it's something that I've noticed, that we are at the we're at the precipice of Weimar Germany style governance here. We have like the hyper nationalist, hyper right wing Republican Party, and we have the liberals that are also caving on those fears that they very effectively communicate to. And not only is it, but those fears are also coming out of like, you know, real societal problems. And, you know, I fear that if there isn't a massive base that recognizes the problem and works actively to try and fix it, we're just going to keep bouldering towards fascism. I think he envies you and it's poisonous. You're ridiculous, dude. That's my uncle. He does not envy me. He is very proud and very happy for my success. That's crazy.
Douchebags are right. We
Can
need to protect every
okay.
person should get free
Listen,
surgery.
we got
Even in China, even though we don't have nothing to do with China,
you gotta
we
stop.
hate them. They're Nazis.
You gotta okay.
I mean, I'm 100% right. Every
You
dirtbag
gotta-
show did it.
you gotta calm
Every
down.
dirtbag show did it. Tell me I'm wrong.
This is reframing an issue that is now we've moved away from the electoral consequences of a trans ad to your own personal anger and frustration that you have with left-wing media online.
Look, the idiots are making everyone think they are the left. They're like, we're the left, we're the real left. Okay, we are super extreme. We want free surgeries for every criminal. Yes, we're the left. And oh, Nazi.
Yeah, I just don't think that this is like, I think no one in this no one that was mentioned in this conversation has any real motion whatsoever in moving the needle. Like, no disrespect to anybody. You know, Lance and the Serfs, Majority Report, myself, or the Young Turks, like, even together, we have no motion. The most motion that Cenk ever had was with the Justice Democrats, right? Alongside Kyle Kalinske. And that wasn't because of the massive audiences that they had. That was because they were actually, like the Working Families Party or the DSA in certain instances, like successfully moving the Democratic Party in the correct direction. That's what brought us the squad, right? And it came only because of, that progressive swing also happened because of Bernie Sanders too, which opened up the floodgates for that kind of communication. So, Yeah, Sunrise Movement too. And I think like having getting lost in the minutia of online commentary stuff is silly. I don't know. It's just not good. It's not good. It's not smart. Do you think that America's culture of violence contributes to our crime issue in a memorable way? I just feel like our culture we grew up in America is different than Norway, for example. I think American culture contributes to it, but culture is just a reflection of the material realities. So I think it's historically speaking, American culture is developed off of American proto-capitalist sentiment early on with the Pilgrims. And has evolved into what it is now, this like incredibly violent aberration. So American culture was far more left during FDR and earlier. Yeah, on certain aspects, you're right. On like adjusted to its time, on economic improvements, yes. But obviously, socially speaking, fuck no. You know what I mean? Like, we had the Jim Crow South at that point. The New Deal also specifically carved out black people. Like, this is not, this is pre-civil rights. We had internment camps for Japanese people. There were a lot of progressive policies that were implemented in terms of economic policies. But there was also a shit ton of regressive, a shit ton of reactionary policies that were also implemented for marginalized populations. And I don't think that it's appropriate to cast these people aside. I don't think it's appropriate to write them out. You know what I mean? So I disagree with that. Friend of the show on Friend of the Show Violence. Yeah. I have seen this, and I love Ested. And now that I'm one of the pod Johns, I feel conflicted here. You know what I mean? I love Ested. He's smart, and I always got his back. You know what I mean? He cooked here too. You okay? Have you not gotten enough credit for breaking the news that Joe Biden is old? You think you'd have more shame, but I understand that this is just like a game of Sims for you, he said. A good ad for the importance of independent media. I think Ested should go on the Pod Johns. I think the Pod Johns should have him on. I hate seeing my oomps fight, my Twitter oomps. You know? The girls are fighting, yeah. I grew up watching Jake in high school, and he was a major influence on me politically, but I became totally disillusioned in 2016 and disengaged until I found your commentary. It feels like I outgrew TYT. I mean, maybe. I think that these guys also think that like there is a real amount of like audience capture that like those who are on the hyper left, woke left, whatever the fuck you want to call it, people like myself engage in. Like they can't comprehend that like I genuinely don't give a shit about trans people participating with cis people in athletic competition. Like I just don't care. And not only do I not care, but I also understand exactly where that fucking anger and resentment comes from. And it's weird because like they also understand where that anger and resentment comes from. This is a deliberate mechanism to create a permission structure to shit on trans people. Like, yeah, so I'm not going to play along with that, you know? And I think every time you even have that conversation, whether in defense of it or whether you are there to like showcase how rational you are as opposed to these like crazies on the left or whatever, you're basically giving it more legitimacy. You're giving it more air. And I don't think that it's necessary other than talk about how fucking silly and insidious and ridiculous these bills are, these anti-trans bills are. by pointing to the madness of it all. I think that in and of itself is a much more successful strategy, like of deflection. And I don't know why. I just don't understand why people can't see it the way that I do. And it's my fault. I should be able to communicate this a little bit better than I have. And I don't think I've done a good enough job, you know, granting a permission of persecution because some people don't like it. They said that for desegregation. Exactly. Exactly. Every step of the way, there is going to be, every step of the way, there is going to be people that are, you know, not going to agree with whatever progress that you want to implement, right? People don't like change. That much that's a stable thing, okay? People love stability and hate change. I think it's our job as progressives to communicate. It's our job as progressives to basically communicate why these things are, these attacks are silly, or why these things are not a bad thing at all. Why these policy measures are not bad at all. If they are making it easier for people to be themselves in public, and it doesn't hurt a single fucking person. So it's very frustrating. People don't hate change, they fear change. Our job is to educate people so they don't fear. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway. I don't think he gave in. I think he's grabbing onto what is left to grab onto in his view. He doesn't see help being given in his and everyone else's community. And I get it, to be honest. What? Do you think you could see yourself going even further beyond the Super Saiyan left? No, this is the maximum left position that I will be on board with. Who knows? It's understandable you didn't have the best answers considering his family. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there to rip him apart. I think one of my biggest I think going forward, if I'm going to debate people, I'm just going to debate people that I hate instead of trying to have a normal, polite conversation where I try to reason with them. Because I'm either, this is where I thrive. Okay. We can have polite disagreements, but I'm here to explain and reason, what my position is and explain what my position is. But if I go into a conversation with this kind of energy, but the other side is basically there to just yell and shit, yeah, it's just not, I can't match the energy with my uncle. I love him. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to be combative. The guy I was talking to him, Piers Morgan, was he was like a peanut gallery guy, Vinny from Patrick Bet David, his podcast. That's a great example. That's a person I can belittle and duke it out with. Yeah. This means the end of Cenksgiving then, yes? No, of course not. I'll still have conversations with Cenk. No, no, we're going to keep doing Cenksgiving, chat. That's going to keep happening. I'm sure you've had heated comments with James before, and it was barely heated from your end, but fair play going through in front of 30K. Please never say, I am the left. Yeah, no, I don't. Let Unc smoke a joint before or something? Yeah. What is this? The epidemic of white and lonely, right? I don't think I'm going to watch that. But Unc thought it was on Piers Morgan. You can tell how much of the community is new. Yeah. I think Cenk is the perfect person to have these sorts of conversations with, though, because like he can say anything and everything he wants. I will never not love him. You know what I mean? He's my uncle. So like it doesn't change that dynamic at all for me, even a little bit. Like it's not like it's not ever going to turn into it's never going to sour my relationship with him. You know? What if you call LeBron overrated? Okay, then I have all the smoke. What is this? Jimmy the Giant, the real foreign invasion of Britain. I think you two need a moderator next year since there were a lot of several points you brought up that just never got addressed. Yeah. There is something very funny about like he despises Gavin Newsom and all these like woke progressive DAs or whatever. And I asked him about I asked him specifically about like Gavin Newsom, who directly participated in like clearing out a homeless encampment, and he was like, "It's too little, too late. He just did that because people were pressuring him." And it's like at that point, I was like, "Damn, like you were just right wing on this position." Like that's exactly what a Republican would say. Okay. Like, and it's ironic because like the entire point that I was making is that you can never get right wingers to be on board with your policies. It literally does not matter because they will always turn around and still call you out and say that, nah, you're still in favor of this. And he kind of did that for Gavin Newsom. You know? Gavin Newsom is threatening cities if y'all don't start clearing encampments, they won't get any money. Yeah. At one point he said he was conservative on laws or judges or something. Yeah, I don't he used that not as a pejorative. That's the thing. He used that as a positive. But yeah. Do we have a playlist from Themasis? I don't know if he sent one or not. Because if not, I'm gonna move into some other stuff. How are you starting up hardcore? When are you starting up hardcore WoW? Right now. Just kidding. Have you heard about the mass automation / layoffs / automation implementation at NBC and CBS? No. Yeah. I did want to watch Ordinary Things: The End of England. Now that I'm going to England. Are you upset about Cenksgiving? No, I thought it was decent content. I wish he wasn't. I always get sad when I see, you know, my uncle basically come out and yell so much. And there's a reason. What is this? An uncle kicked his nephew's ass on Thanksgiving. John Molera. What is this? ACP? Cenk becoming my favorite lib on the internet is not something I expected to happen this year, but here we are. He essentially got us on to admit what I've been saying about him. He's held captive by the most vocal and woke sections of his audience. Yeah, dude, I should do a podcast with the fucking anti-Semite like Jake Shields instead, so I don't get held captive by my woke audience. Like, these people are so unserious, dude. And they just genuinely cannot understand that these are my opinions. You know what I mean? I yell at my audience on a daily fucking basis. There are plenty of people that are directly that have like the opposite fucking opinion of me on many issues in my community that go above and beyond to be annoying. And I yell at them all the time. Anyone that spent any time in here knows that I don't I don't take kindly to wrecker behavior coming from rad libs in this community. Okay. And yet people don't understand where I'm coming from because I try to offer a little bit more nuance. And that is considered impossible to contend with. No, I'm so captive to my audience. I'm actually secretly right wing on a bunch of shit, but I just maintain this position for no reason. Even though, being openly right wing is very beneficial for me. Why the fuck would I not do that if I had that opinion? Like, why wouldn't I do that? It literally does not make sense. Another agency has recorded at least 18 Israeli violations of the ceasefire since it came into effect at dawn on Wednesday and until Thursday night. Oh, yeah, the ceasefire is like... Oh, the Macy's did send a playlist? Okay. We'll do that. 13 of these violations occurred on Wednesday, the first of which was an Israeli drone attack on a car in Markaba. The violations were tallied from statements by the Israeli army itself and news reports from the national news agency. The Lebanese army confirmed yesterday on Twitter that on November 27th and 28th, the Israeli enemy violated the agreement several times and that the army command is following up on the matter in coordination with the relevant authorities. On Friday morning, the Israeli occupation army opened fire on a number of citizens in Qiyam while they were attending a funeral of one of the town's residents. The Israeli army also fired artillery shells and directed machine gun fire at the town of Aita al-Sha'ab. I've heard that they also fired on journalists as well. So I have seen what's going on in Syria as well, but I feel like that is much more complicated to broach and talk about with as it's still a developing story. And I need to read more about what's happening there, especially considering that there are numerous parts involved in this. And they're all fucking fighting one another. Numerous nations involved in this as well that seemingly even switch sides from time to time. And the rebels themselves, when you look at the different rebel groups, the different anti-Assad groups, they vary greatly in their own opinions and the way that they operate. And it's not just Islamist fundamentalism. I'm talking straight, Salafists as well. But then also Assad is not exactly a wonderful figure either. You know what I mean? And neither is the Turkish government. So it's a ginormous, it's awful. Everything is, everything is bad. The Kurds are good though, for the most part. Israel's Ynet published more details on the side letter the Biden administration provided to rig the ceasefire to ensure that Israel does not actually have to cease its fire. It reportedly says Israel reserves the right to act at any time in southern Lebanon. So I guess America cut a side deal with them. Don't let the nationalist Turks hear you say that. Another group that will call you a terrorist. You think they don't already? Are you kidding me? They fucking do it all the time. X Salem, thank you for the 20 gifted subs. Nice. The Israeli occupation releases 30 Palestinian hostages from the torture camps today through the Kerem Shalom crossing. One of the released Palestinians, the Israeli investigating officer, came to me and said, I want to give you a gift. The gift was that he informed me that they had killed my family. Nice. Okay, the U.S. may share information provided with Israel with the Lebanese government or the committee to allow them to address the violation. The U.S. is committed to cooperating with Israel to curb Iran's destabilizing activities in Lebanon, including preventing the transfer of weapons, affiliates, and others from Iranian territory. The U.S. recognizes Israel's right to respond to threats coming from Lebanese territory in accordance with international law. In the southern region, Israel reserves the right to act anytime against violations of the commitments. Outside the southern region, Israel reserves the right to act against the development of threats directed against it. If Lebanon is unable or unwilling to thwart these threats, if Israel decides to take such steps, it will inform the U.S. of this wherever possible. Israeli flights over Lebanon will be conducted for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance purposes only and will not break the sound barrier. Nice. So I guess this side step basically is this side deal that they cut with America is only one side gets to cease the fire and the other side gets to do whatever the fuck it wants. A very cool way to do a ceasefire. Very cool way to do the ceasefire. Now, it's interesting because I mean, we already know that like Israel responds to force. So this is going to we'll see. I mean, they were able to successfully decouple Hezbollah from Gaza. That was the original reason why they wanted to pummel Lebanon. And they were able to do that by killing a shit ton of civilians. You know, that's the one speed that Israel has, which is we will keep killing your civilians over and over and over again. And there's nothing you can say about it. And there's nothing you can do about it. I think that they also had some ambitions. 20 tier 2 subs. God damn, Sochi. Thank you. Thank you for the 20 tier 2 subs. That's crazy. But you know, they apply the Dahiyya doctrine and Hezbollah, given that they have you know, civil governance and civil governance interests in the regions that they control, were like, yeah, we can't deal with you guys killing all of our fucking civilians, all of our family members relentlessly, seemingly without end. That they were forced to the table to engage in a ceasefire, but the proposal itself had some extensions that America, I guess, some assurances that America offered to Israel. We'll see where it goes, but it is yet again a clear-cut example that none of these initiatives ever actually end up stopping Israel. It's not to stop Israel at all, even though Israel is the responsible party. Israel is the party that is doing a metric ton more pain, specifically towards civilians too. And yet, the way we analyze it here in the West is always, it's actually the resistance groups that are the bad guys here. You don't understand. Even if they kill significantly less civilians, sometimes not even any civilians at all. It's really, really interesting, really cool stuff here. Very interesting interview with Professor Rashid Khalidi, the author of The 100 Years of Palestine, who recently retired from Columbia. O'Connell asks, and so at what point do we stop talking about America's complicity in the slaughter and begin to talk of America as an antagonist, of America being at war with Palestine? Khalidi says, that has always been my view. When we were negotiating with the Israelis in Washington, I realized that actually the Americans and the Israelis were really on the same side, opposed to us. It was in effect a joint delegation. Now you actually have revelations in the American press of joint targeting and of intelligence operations to find and kill leaders of Hezbollah and Hamas. If you look carefully, you'll see that the United States is actually directly at war. It's an intense high-level collaboration in planning and targeting, not to speak of the fact that virtually every shell, every missile, every bomb is American, and that the Israeli army couldn't go on for more than 3 months without those hundreds of airlifted shipments. So it is participation at an active level without, for the most part, boots on the ground. My cat hates Tariffs. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. O'Connell says, usually these kinds of conversations end with the interlocutor asking for some glimmer of hope, but given the current realities, I won't insult you by even going there. Well, if you did, I would say that the shifts in public opinion we've seen in the West where Israel and Palestine are concerned are a harbinger of change. This is how I feel as well, by the way. And I'm reaffirmed in my in not succumbing to nihilism and my perspective here because of I just found your channel through PSA. Thanks for the great interview. We need progressive voices more than ever before. Hell yeah. Thank you, Sochi. Um, but yeah, this is why I'm also optimistic as well, in spite of the metric ton of violence that we have seen. It's because I match the public sentiment overall to what I have known my whole life and how different it is. So it's important to remember that. That won't be quick. It'll be harder than Vietnam, harder than Iraq, harder than the change around the apartheid in South Africa. The elites will fight tooth and nail to not change anything. But I think that this ongoing change offers a little bit of hope for the future. If you understand how the Israeli project is intimately and integrally linked to the West, then a shift in Western public opinion sooner or later is going to have an impact on Israel. Israel has always benefited from wall-to-wall support in every Western country, with very few exceptions. It had never lost public opinion. It has now lost public opinion. That may change, and evolution is not inevitable. But if that trend continues, things will have to change for the better. However fiercely the pro-Israel elites resist, Israel cannot go on without the complete support of the West. It's not possible. The project doesn't work. We're in a different world than the world we've been in for over a century. And that might be a source of optimism. And that is precisely what I say all the time as well. This is Rashid Khalidi, obviously. The 100 Years War on Palestine is one of his books. He was an Edward Said Fellow at Columbia University, right? Am I saying? Was he an Edward Said Fellow? Well, I mean, he was friends as well with Edward Said, obviously, understandably. Another very important author and an academic for Palestinians. But the book is really good too, and I highly recommend you read it. So, Khalidi gave a talk to New York City DSA recently. Yeah. Yeah, Rashid Khalidi is amazing. But Said mentioned also read Orientalism by Edward Said Chatters. Yeah, I mean, Orientalism is a little bit denser of a read, in my opinion, than 100 Years of Palestine. 100 Years War on Palestine. So, 10 Myths is the easiest one to read, but if you want Palestinian authors and Palestinian history, 100 Years War in Palestine is pretty good. Fantastic. Anyway. Okay. DSA Dick Sucking Alliance. Good one, man. You got it. Are you going to cover the shit show in European elections? Georgia and Romania? Brother, European elections and then you said Georgia? What's going on? I mean, Georgia and Romania are experiencing the exact same problems right now in their elections, but I wouldn't say Georgia is Europe at this point. Like, come on.
Elect Trump spent Thanksgiving at Mar-a-Lago, where he table danced to YMCA with his self-proclaimed best buddy, Elon Musk. One thing not on the menu, though, the fallout over his threat to impose tariffs on Canada and Mexico. ABC's Perry Ressam joins us live from Washington with those details. Good morning, Perry.
Lionel, good morning to you. There appears to be a disconnect over what was said on the call and what both leaders agreed to. Trump has been putting pressure on both Mexico and Canada with these tariffs, all tied to immigration. This morning, President-elect Trump and the president of Mexico at odds over a phone call about immigration. Trump says Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum agreed to stop migration through Mexico and into the United States, effectively closing our southern border. Sheinbaum says she told Trump migrant caravans are being stopped before reaching the U.S., saying, "We reiterate that Mexico's position is not to close borders.
We're going to fix our borders."
Immigration, a key issue for Trump on the campaign trail. He is threatening to impose a 25% tariff on goods coming from Mexico and Canada on his first day back in office. Trump blaming both countries for the way.
What do you mean Georgia is not in Europe? I don't know, man. Open up a fucking map. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, saying Georgia's in Europe is like saying Armenia is a European country. The only reason why you think that is because they're Christian, I guess. Say you mean the EU, No, I mean the European continent, dude. What are we talking about? Hello? Do you guys know where Georgia is on the map? What the fuck? Y'all just see, bro, I swear to God, y'all just see like Christian nation. You see crosses on their flag and you go, oh, they're, you know, that's a European country. Must be. Do you know where Georgia is, chat? Wait, hold on. I don't want to like leak anything. Bruh. That's where Georgia is. Does that look like Europe to you? This is the only part of Turkey that's in Europe. You know that, right? Like this right here, this little thing right here. The rest of Turkey's in Asia too. No, Azerbaijan would not be a European country because it's not Christian. That's the whole point. The reason why people say European country is because they're Christian. That's why. That's it. That's literally it. Anyway. All right. Georgia is Europe, little bro. What? Okay, we're done.
Wave of undocumented immigrants and illegal drugs in the U.S. He says the tariffs will stay in effect until Canada and Mexico solve what he calls a long simmering problem.
So I guess Bosnia and Albania aren't European because they Muslim. First of all, I mean, kind of, yeah. Go ask people in Europe if they think that Bosnia and Albania are European or not. But also, secondly, at least it's on the fucking continent, dude. Like, what do you mean? Yes. It is on the European continent. Having said that, however, because of their, because of the fact that they're Muslim, many European nations do actually do wish that they weren't in Europe.
After suggesting Mexico would retaliate.
There is no European continent. Wait, what? Now we're getting into some new theories here, okay?
Against U.S. tariffs with tariffs of their own.
Pues potencial guerra arancelaria, la revisión del tema. No va a haber potencial guerra arancelaria. No.
Scheinbaum yesterday interrupting a reporter asking about a potential tariff war, saying there will be no potential tariff war.
I hope he rethinks it.
President Biden calls Trump's tariff threats on the U.S.'s North American neighbors counterproductive.
We have an unusual.
Technically, Europe is a subcontinent of Eurasia. Okay.
Situation in America. We're surrounded by the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and two allies, Mexico and Canada. And the last thing we need to do is begin to screw up those relationships.
Scheinbaum says there will be more conversations before Trump takes office. As for Canada, a government official this week says they are starting to think about tariffs they can impose on the U.S. No final decision has been made.
Now to President Biden weighing in on President-elect Trump's threat to impose stiff tariffs on Canada and Mexico.
Wow, Biden's got strong words for Donald Trump. He said the tariffs are counterproductive. Anyway, EU still wants Georgia to join, just as Cyprus did, while Albania, Turkey, and Bosnia aren't. EU is basically the Holy Roman Empire at this point. Yeah, it's just they... Okay, we're done. We got to continue. Reminder about the giveaway. Let us know when you want to do it. Yeah, just do it. Just do it periodically. Jank Fallout, y'all good? Yes, of course we're good. Do it. If you type !enter for the chance to win a prize. Max 1 entry per user. Winner will be selected in 1 minute. Enter now.
Biden called it counterproductive, while Trump insists the move is critical to his border plan. Jay O'Brien is at Mar-a-Lago with the latest. Jay, good morning.
Yeah, Whit, good morning. President Biden pushing President-elect Trump to change his mind about that key campaign promise, a rare move just months before Donald Trump returns to the White House. President-elect Donald Trump spending his Thanksgiving at Mar-a-Lago with close confidant Elon Musk. The two seen here in this video dancing along to the YMCA with Melania and Barron both at the dinner table. It comes as President Biden has strong words for Trump, calling on him to rethink his threatened sweeping tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada, calling them counterproductive.
We're surrounded by the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and two allies, Mexico and Canada. And the last thing we need to do is begin to screw up those relationships.
The rare critique, a lame duck president criticizing his successor just months out from Inauguration Day, coming on Thanksgiving, where Biden also told reporters he was thankful for a peaceful transition of power. Tariff threats, a central theme of Trump's campaign. Trump recently promising on day one of his new administration he will enact sweeping 25% across-the-board tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada until both countries stop what Trump claims is a flow of drugs and illegal migrants. Accounting for more than $1 trillion in trade every year, Mexico and Canada are the two largest trading partners of the U.S. The tariffs likely to fall back on U.S. consumers who could see rising costs on goods from cars to electronics to fruits and vegetables.
Giveaway alert. Wait, okay. Who won it? Who won the giveaway? Did we choose a winner?
Earlier this week, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau speaking with Trump over the phone, saying it was a good call with the president-elect, but adding this is a relationship that we know takes a certain amount of working on, and that's what we'll do. And Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, who's promised her own tariffs on American imports if Trump follows through with his threat. Now, overnight.
Babe Femet won. And there's a second giveaway happening as well. There's apparently a bunch of giveaways, so keep writing. Congratulations to Babe Femet.
Downplaying the possibility of a trade war between the U.S. and Mexico. And just days ago, Trump and Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum speaking by phone about immigration. Trump claiming that Sheinbaum agreed to stop migrants in Mexico before they reach the border. Effectively, he says, closing the border. But the Mexican president appearing to contradict that, saying that Mexico's position is not to close borders.
And Jay, as we stand by to see how that plays out, we're also learning more about multiple bomb threats made against Democratic lawmakers from Connecticut.
That's right, Whit. At least 5 Democratic lawmakers from Connecticut, including Senator Chris Murphy, had their homes targeted with hoax bomb threats on Thanksgiving. No explosive devices were found. And this morning, the FBI, as well as state and local law enforcement agencies, conducting multiple investigations.
It's so sick that at this point, it's just like, oh, you don't like someone? Bomb threat. You don't like someone? You disagree with them? Time's up. And the winner is Untouched Galaxy. Congratulations. Go to ideology.shop/pages/redeem to claim your prize, Untouched Galaxy. Yeah, at this point, Republicans have one fucking speed. Like, or it's just American political discourse is basically turned into like, who's going to do more bomb threats over the other? Okay. It's a pretty wild state of affairs. Like, how the fuck did we get here, man? How do we get here? Chat, we're done. Wait another hour or so. Yeah, okay, stop typing enter. We're done for now. Oh, yeah. My favorite genre of tweet are American conservatives who bleed about white culture and tradition constantly, who then shriek Satanism when they see what genuine white culture and tradition. It's all aesthetics to these people. Yeah. This is Austria. What's going on? What's going on? What are they doing? What's happening here? What has happened to my beautiful white culture? Americans are such fat little pigs that the only white culture and even their understanding of white culture is basically just an ad from the 50s, okay? That's it. We have one speed, and that speed is hamburger, okay? They literally don't even do fascism correctly because of how fucking, like, brain broken they are by commodities, okay? America's white culture still is another demonstration of capitalism. Straight up. They literally just look at ads from the 50s and go, oh, where my country gone? Why can't I get back to this? Why can't we get back to this? Yeah, none of this like weird gay satanic shit that they're doing over in fucking Europe. What? Did you mean to embarrass me last night? What are you saying, bro? Please. Oh God. The holiday crowd is always, the holiday crowd goes crazy. Just like a lot of people that forget to take their medication. Anyway. Everyone's drunk. Everyone refuses to take their meds. People are in their fucking fields.
Investigations into those threats and others made against several of Donald Trump's cabinet picks this week. Whit.
All right, Jay O'Brien for us. Thank you.
Now to Syria, where opposition.
Oh, also, yeah, we have a new country. Dutch PM Dick Schoof says there may be options for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to visit the Netherlands without being arrested despite an international criminal court arrest warrant against them. I'm hoping that they're just like baiting him to be like, yeah, please come visit The Hague. Okay. Yeah, it's got to be a trap. Please tell me it's a trap. Please tell me these people did not immediately cave after like a couple phone calls from Big Daddy Biden to be like, no, he can go wherever he wants. Fuck your international laws. Come visit. We ain't going to jump you. Yeah, that'd be sick. There is something so crazy about this, though. Like the fact that France also, after having one phone convo with Joe Biden, was like, yeah, we've actually decided Benjamin Netanyahu can come to France as well. Like they caved. It's just like, what are we doing here? What are we fucking doing here? What a joke. Dude, these institutions are like, these countries are such a fucking joke. Good luck. You have no more motion at that point. Your entire society is collapsing. And also, all the while, Lindsey Graham is working on a bipartisan bill. I had a very productive meeting in Israel with Prime Minister Netanyahu, war criminal Netanyahu, and his team about my efforts with my colleagues to make it clear that any country, entity, or person that tries to enforce the ICC's arrest warrants against Israel will pay a heavy price in America. During his administration, President Trump placed sanctions on the ICC for this very reason. Unfortunately, President Biden removed President Trump's ICC sanctions. Yet also, it was ICC sanctions placed against one prosecutor. She is no longer the prosecutor. The guy that you want to implement sanctions on, the prosecutor, is your guy. America and Israel backed Karim Khan to be the prosecutor for the ICC. That was their guy. And even their guy's like, yeah, dog, you went too far. Sorry. And now they're like, turns out you're not our guy. You're also getting sanctions. I told the Prime Minister it is time for Congress to act, making it clear to countries that they face from America if they act against Israel. I believe there are strong bipartisan majorities for such legislation. I also stress that it is Israel today and it will be America next if we don't act. I intend to act to protect Israel and America. I like that we are facing a complete collapse of the international rule-based order, which is like America's most significant soft power capability to make it seem like they're the world police and that they like have morality in mind. They're just completely wiping that. Okay? They're completely casting that aside. They're like, yeah, no, actually, we don't have any of that. We don't give a fuck about that at all, big dog. And you're doing this at a time when, you know, you're literally using the ICC in an understandable and deliberate and in my opinion, valid way against Russia. So, like, how do you not understand that you're weakening these institutions and you're weakening the potential soft power capabilities that you might have by destroying these institutions that are supposed to create this, like, fabric of human rights, or at least, like, this PR? It's also additionally funny because he keeps saying America is next. Okay. And I find that really funny because that's just an admission that, like, America does a shit ton of war crimes, which is true. Little by little, one by one, the Rogue West takes shape. Yeah. Huh. Like, you don't understand. Are you leaving? Oh, I thought you were. No, I thought you were leaving. Yeah, I was talking to you. Yeah. No, okay. No, it's all good. Then it's just, I keep repeating this over and over again. I don't think people understand. Like, we have 800 military bases all around the planet. Okay. 800 military bases all around the planet can either be viewed as a firmly held security cooperation, international, you know, collaboration, or it can be seen as 800 invasions on foreign soil. The thing that the fabric that holds all this together is the consensus, is the notion that America is the the obviously I know that that's not the case, but, like, the idea that America presents as the moral police of the planet, the arbiter of truth and justice and a care and consideration for human rights. That's why they do all this propaganda. So when that falls apart in the eyes of many of these countries, okay, in the eyes of these many different countries all around the world, they're eventually going to be like, okay, well, I'm re-examining my relationship with the United States of America. No one in the rest of the world actually believes that, though. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Why do you think that people do PR? Why, like, if it didn't matter and people didn't care about this, why the fuck would America ever do PR in the first place to try to claim that they care about these things? To try to operate within the bounds of international human rights. You care about it so you can use it against, you know, the likes that violate it, foreign adversaries that are not in the sphere of influence of the West. Okay, and these guys surely do violate it, Assad and Vladimir Putin alike. Okay, so you can use it against them. But you can't use it against them if your guy and yourself are also undermining the very same court that you're using against foreign adversaries. That's it. Like, the veil, the mask slips at that point. And it doesn't just slip at that point for the global South. The global South is aware of what the fuck's going on. They're ultimately powerless to do anything about it. But when the mask slips in the Western world, when the populations of the Western world start reckoning with American imperialism, American intervention, and how all of these, like, important organs of international justice that are tasked with upholding some kind of international rule-based order, when they recognize, oh my God, none of this shit actually is working, none of this shit is real at all, that's going to cause complications. That's going to cause instability. Okay? And in that instability, a lot of anti-Western sentiment and maybe even pro-Russian sentiment, for example, will make up for that inconsistency and that hypocrisy, especially when paired with austerity and the economic volatility that clawing back social safety nets creates. Okay? You're seeing stuff like that already happen in places like Romania. And it will inevitably, it is already inevitably making its way into the Western, into our Western European allies as well. Does that make sense? Anyway. Anyone remember when Hasan had a personality? Is soulless rambling now? Wait, what? Two hours in and you still haven't covered any real news? What do you mean by that? I think, once again, it's holiday season, baby. You know how it is. All right. Rebels claim to have entered Syria's second largest city.
Forces say they have entered Aleppo after rebels launch a surprise offensive in the government-controlled city for the first time in years. A statement by...
Apparently, some of these dudes were like trained by Ukrainian special forces too,
newly
right?
formed rebel umbrella coalition says clashes with Syrian forces intensified overnight into Friday morning. The rebels and Bashar al-Assad's regime had agreed to a ceasefire mediated by Russia and Turkey in March 2020. CNN's senior international correspondent Ben Wiedemann has covered Syria extensively over the course of his career. He joins us now to give us some perspective on the latest development. Ben, this is the first major escalation in Syria in around 7 years. Rebels claiming to have taken control of Aleppo's western countryside. What is the latest?
Yes, what we're hearing from Aleppo is they've now entered the new Aleppo neighborhood.
Yeah, no American or Israeli involvement at all. First of all, Turkish involvement is American involvement. Turkey is NATO. Turkey does not do anything in this region without America's go-ahead, which literally includes giving, selling oil that ISIS was extracting, okay? So the idea that, like, this is happening without, I know you're being sarcastic, sorry. I'm just using you as a jump-off point. But the idea that, like, all of this stuff happens without, like, once again, there are very valid reasons for Syrians to you know, fight back against Assad. Okay, it's just true. Having said that, the some of the groups, at least, like the Turkish-backed groups, are not exactly great either. Okay. Like, when they say rebels, it comprises of a group of people that includes, American trained Kurdish militias that are secular, or, communist, all the way to, like, it depends. It depends on which group you're talking about and what you're talking about, all the way to Al-Qaeda adjacent Salafists. Okay. Now, a lot of the Islamist rebel groups are also no, it doesn't include rebels. The rebels are the FSA. Kurds are another thing. Yes, but I'm saying that, like, there's opposition forces on every side of this that ranges in ideology for different parts of Syria.
Neighborhood, as well as the Hamdaniya neighborhood on the western side of the city. This comes after they launched this sort of coalition of rebel groups led by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, which is a rebel group that at one point was affiliated with Al-Qaeda, but they launched this lightning offensive on Wednesday, and since then they've taken, according to them, 63 villages to the west of Aleppo, which of course is a...
I do think it's kind of funny when, listen, all I'm going to say is when you see people with guns going Allahu Akbar with Arabic lettering bands that they're wearing, and the American government is on board with them and showing them as, like, a good thing, it's just kind of funny to think about that from the perspective of how they interpret and analyze the very similar images with, genuinely different goals and genuinely different ambitions, mind you. But, I never thought that it would be the 90s again, where I would see big bearded militia guys getting positive coverage on American mainstream news, you know?
Is Syria's second largest city, and they say they have now entered the western edge.
How are these guys immediately identifiable as freedom fighters with the PFLP and PLO weren't? Yeah, no, they're not, because they're bad.
Of the city. This is an offensive that comes after keeping in mind, of course, that the rebels lost control of most of Aleppo back in 2016. And there's been basically a stalemate since March of 2020 when Russia and Turkey worked out a ceasefire agreement for the northern part of of Syria. Now, there have been clashes among the rebel groups themselves, but it appears that they've put their differences behind, perhaps to exploit the fact that, for instance, Hezbollah, which was a major backer of the regime of Bashar al-Assad, essentially pulled out of Syria starting in October of last year when they focused their fire on Israel. And of course, other backers of the Syrian regime, for instance, Iran has been distracted by its involvement in hostile activities with Israel, and Russia has been distracted by its war in Ukraine. And therefore, perhaps these rebel groups are seeing this as a golden opportunity to target a weakened Syrian regime, a regime that doesn't have the kind of backing that it enjoyed going back to, for instance, 2015, when the Russians became directly involved in bolstering the regime of Bashar al-Assad. So certainly this does represent a dramatic change on the ground in an area where the Syrian regime was starting to feel fairly confident. They've been trying to rebuild parts of old Aleppo that were severely damaged in the civil war that's been going on there since 2012. But it does appear that the regime has been taken by surprise by this rebel offensive. Eleni?
Indeed. I mean, a huge surprise.
I'm sorry for being dumb. Did I miss some context? Is it good for bad for Syria? There's nothing good for Syria. Syria is cooked and will continue to be cooked because Assad is not a good guy, but these rebel forces are also not exactly great. The only other the regional actor in this process is Turkey, which is operating at the behest of American foreign intervention, or at least working within the confines of what America allows it to do so, whether it be complete control over the northern Syrian corridor, where they engage in a whole bunch of bombing campaigns and military actions against the Kurdish villages and the Kurdish militias that are there fighting against the Turkish government. Some of the groups that Turkey backs in this process are also like direct, Salafist, former Al-Qaeda militants and shit like that. So there is no good immediate resolution for Syria, no matter what. Also, people will interpret this as like, Hezbollah has been aligned with Assad, and so is Russia aligned with Assad as well. So it's you can look at it from many different angles. It could be a proxy war between U.S. and Russia, with a civil war slammed into the middle of it. It is truly devastating for Syria, no matter what. Amına koyayım, bunlar PKK olsa chat yarrağı şükür ABD bu sefer iyi yeri fonlamış diye bağıracaktı. Hiçbir bokunuza güvenmiyorum, kusura bakmayın. YPG, PKK gibi ABD için o ülkelerin benzini sönmesini koruyor. Hala salak gibi CIA'yı destekliyorsunuz. Amına kodumun malları. Ben kimseyi desteklemiyorum.
And they're calling it a shock offensive. What is their aim, Ben? And as you say, they're feeling emboldened now that Hezbollah and Iran are distracted with their own worries.